Don't even think about taking an ice bath until you watch this video. What if I told you that your current ice bath routine could be putting your performance at risk? The truth? It might actually shock you. Okay, you and I, we're on the same page. Ice baths are great for so many reasons, including making you happier for several hours after. That's actually my favorite outcome from taking an ice bath, the dopamine response. Dopamine, delicious dopamine. Of all of the benefits of a cold plunge, for me, that's the most obvious. It's not actually measurable, but you can really feel a difference for as many as 5 hours later, some say even longer. So imagine your brain is like a playground, and dopamine is the happy chemical that makes you feel good when you do something fun, like playing a game or even eating ice cream. Now, when you jump into a cold plunge, it's really a surprise to your body, as you can imagine. It's a shock. And at first, it's very scary. Your brain is like, whoa, what the hell is going on? But after a little while, your brain starts releasing more dopamine because it's trying to help you feel better. It's kind of like your brain is giving you a high five for being brave and tough, that happy feeling that can last for a while, which is why I feel amazing after doing cold plunges. It's like your brain's way of saying, good job, young man. Young, LOL. You handled the cold plunge like a champ. And that's why ice baths are used to treat addiction, actually. With drug addiction, including alcohol, over time, the brain craves more and more dopamine, and it becomes harder to feel good without those things. And that's what happens when addiction becomes more severe. Cold plunges help because they give your brain a natural boost of dopamine, but in a much healthier way, obviously. It's like retraining the brain to feel good from something positive rather than something harmful. Over time, the brain gets used to getting dopamine from other things like cold exposure or exercise or other healthy habits. It can actually help reduce the craving for the unhealthy dopamine addiction, unhealthy things that cause the addiction in the first place. In short, cold plunges offer a natural and healthy dopamine reset, which can be really helpful in breaking the cycle of addiction. Without addiction, that ice bath dopamine surge is an exceptional part of what I would call a pre-workout routine. Yes, a pre-workout routine, not afterwards. An ice bath is great before your workout, not after, and I'll explain that in a minute. So if you're ready to take the next step in your health journey, subscribe to our channel and join thousands of others who've already begun to tackle the health and fitness concerns like ice baths. And together, we can learn to help build the knowledge and confidence to make healthy and smart decisions to achieve your goals. And remember, I'm doing all of this stuff right here with you. Back to the ice bath. It's a powerful tool, but I want to make sure you know how to use it properly, because if you don't use it properly, you can actually hurt yourself. Before we get into that further, though, I wanted to address some basic common questions that I'm asked. How long should I stay in? And there's some research that shows that, honestly, it depends. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. For general health, 2 to 5 minutes. For muscle recovery, 10 to 15 minutes. And that's for on non-training days, which I'll get to in a minute. Reducing inflammation, 5 to 10 minutes. Metabolic benefit, 3 to 5 minutes. But in my opinion, these studies are based on averages. And if you think you're average, just follow those guidelines. Otherwise, my suggestion is you pay close attention to how your body reacts and how your HRV stands up to the stress of ice baths, because it is, in fact, an actual stressor to your body, a stressor that can be considered a good stressor, kind of like exercise. Next common question I get is, why do I go in naked? The answer is, it's simple. It's a private ice bath that I have, and it's shocking how quickly a swimsuit can actually break down in that icy cold water, clogging the filter basket. So naked, for me, equals ease of maintenance, as long as you're clean, that is. Always rinse off and get all those personal care products off of your body to make for a clean and happy ice bath. Why do you dunk your head? Get this question asked all the time. There's 2 reasons. The first one is that I don't want to do it. And doing hard things helps develop a part of your brain called the mid-cingulate cortex. It grows actually when you do things that you really don't want to do. And every time I look at that ice and break it up and climb in and then face it right in front of my nose before I plunge my head in, I really don't want to do it. And that's a great exercise for teeing me up and you to do hard things in the future. The second reason is a concept called the mammalian dive reflex. And so when a mammal puts its face in cold water, several things happen. Your heart rate decreases, you have vasoconstriction in your vascular system. Blood flows basically from the extremities, gets squeezed out of the extremities and goes into your organs. And it triggers the breath hold response, which enables your body to become more oxygen efficient. There's also vagus nerve activation, which helps control the parasympathetic nervous system, helping with anxiety and overall stress resilience. It also theoretically helps you adapt to cold temperatures. Doing this also reduces strain on the cardiovascular system. And by the way, I don't recommend this in the ice bath itself. It could be dangerous. You can also get this benefit by just sticking your face in a bowl of cold water. Icy cold water would be even better. But I'm in the tub though, so it seems easy and practical to just dunk my head while I'm in there. And I go face down, by the way, because I try to relax for a full minute underwater while I hold my breath, trying not to freak out. That exercise in and of itself is really helpful for just getting tougher and stronger. On my back, by the way, sliding into the bath, water goes up my nose. So doing it face down, I just sort of chill. Do I have a favorite brand? Absolutely, I really do. I've used a number of them, and mine is the Morasco Forge. I like it mostly because it actually makes ice on the bottom, warms up for just a few minutes to release the big chunk of ice. And you actually have to break the ice before you get in it when you use it the next day. You don't find these in facilities like commercial facilities where you can join and be a member because the cooler of the Morasco Forge just can't keep up with a bunch of people coming in and out of it. However, if it's in your home like mine and it's just you, the ice just kind of adds another layer of, nope, I definitely don't want to do this right now. And that's great for that brain development I mentioned earlier. So the summary of all that is that you can do hard things more easily if you have this practice in your daily or a few times a week routine. The next common question I get is, why not after workouts? And here's the answer. Because the ice bath, as you can imagine, cuts inflammation. And a lot of people use it to drop inflammation. But if you want to get some sort of adaptation from your training session in the gym, like getting stronger or adding muscle, you want to allow your body to recover naturally and adapt. And using an ice bath, because it cuts inflammation, cuts that process. The next common question I get is, what are the benefits of an ice bath? I actually have 15 of them for you, so there are a lot of them. First one is it reduces muscle soreness. The second is it decreases inflammation. The third is it enables faster recovery. The fourth is increased circulation and blood flow. The fifth is that activation of the parasympathetic nervous system that I described. The sixth is improved mental clarity and focus. And that one is my favorite. I just absolutely love how I feel emotionally after doing an ice bath. It also is great right before a workout because you just have this surge of dopamine and adrenaline. And so the workout can actually be quite a bit more intense. 7 is your boosted mood. 8 is enhanced metabolic rate. And this is my second favorite reason. I just love the concept of having these little brown cells that are neighbors of your white fat cells, these brown fat cells specifically. And these brown fat cells are metabolically active. They're packed full of mitochondria like other cells in your body that are active. And what happens is that the cold exposure activates those brown fat cells, and they grab the triglycerides in the neighboring fat cells, the white fat cells, and eat them up to turn them into energy, to turn them into heat. And that process actually increases your metabolism. Number 9 is improved immune function. Number 10 is enhanced sleep quality, another one of my favorites. Number 11 is better cold tolerance, as mentioned. 12 is potential cardiovascular benefits, as mentioned. 13 is improved vagus nerve function, which plays a big role in controlling your parasympathetic nervous system. 14 is increased resilience to stress. And 15 is potential improvement in insulin sensitivity. This is a big deal for most Americans. It's a pretty long list. But I have a friend who just recently reached out to me, and he told me that he's convinced that he increased his testosterone levels by 100 just by doing a cold plunge. So he took his blood test prior to using a cold plunge, used it for a month, did a test again, and it was 100 points higher. There is some research indicating that T levels can increase if you actually use a cold plunge, as long as you train right after. And then after training, those testosterone levels can increase, but nothing to indicate that using an ice bath alone will increase T levels. By the way, you can also increase your testosterone levels overnight by having a good night's sleep or by meditating regularly for a month. So sorry, my friend, but I think you're thinking about using a cold plunge for the wrong intended purpose. If you want to learn more about testosterone and the role it plays in your body, I have a great TRT video, that's testosterone replacement therapy video. And it's also helpful for the ladies. Ladies, did you know that you have more circulating testosterone in your bloodstream than estrogen? Check it out, it's for you too. So how do I best use a cold plunge? My recommendation is you do it in the morning before any training session, away from any time of the day that you need to sleep. An ice bath is very stimulating, so you really don't want to be doing this late in the day and screw up your sleep. Screwing up your sleep, that's the thing you want to avoid totally. Never do it after a weight training session, preferably before a cardio session as well. Try it, and you'll kind of feel what I'm describing. You just feel so good doing a cardio session after you do a cold plunge. Also, it is a great tool for contrast therapy. And what that is going back and forth from sauna to cold plunge to sauna to cold plunge. And what this does is it helps with vascular elasticity, which is the antithesis of arterial sclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries. You've probably heard of that. And by constricting in the ice bath, you vasoconstrict. Your blood vessels become really, really small. And then you hop into the sauna and they vasodilate. So your blood vessels become big and wide. So going from one extreme to the other increases that vascular elasticity that is so important to your cardiovascular health. So give it a shot. It can be a great tool, but by the way, nothing replaces the foundations of sleeping well, eating well, good stress management, and training in all forms. I'm referring to weight training or resistance training, cardiac output training to train your heart and lungs or zone 2 cardio, and non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Walking, just moving around a lot. Nothing replaces those. So if you're not doing those things and you can, meaning you physically can handle them, some people can't actually exercise. But if you can and you're not, and you're using a cold plunge and you're eating like then you're likely, or you're sleeping only 4 hours a night, a cold plunge may not help you. As a matter of fact, it may even hurt you. So if those various therapies are in place, lifestyle, exercise, nutrition, and stress management, the ice bath, it can really be an amazing addition, just like it is for me. Further, go ahead and get our free training at watchtodd.com, watchtodd.com. I've got a great video describing a philosophy on how your body works called the Wheel of Health and an accompanying PDF that lists every single test that allows you to quantify all 10 spokes of the wheel. Now that you know more about ice baths, watch this video next because you're going to want to avoid the destruction of the conventional medical system and live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Your future self will thank you.